finna sound off because it's so many inconsistencies with this case. It's so many things that happened in those last few interviews. And there's so many things that happened since then. I'm Jay Laba. I scour the internet so that you don't have to. And I brought to you the choice cut select videos from people around the internet talking that talking. We're going to get it kicked off with Ahmadiyah Shakur. Come on now. Let's go ahead and get to
I'm
it.
Dr. Ahmadai Shakur. It looks like the DA, Angel Myers McElrath, just dropped the reverse Uno card. Let's
Uh
get into
oh.
it. It was a two-page letter, and here's what it says. I'm going to go down to the fourth paragraph. It says, first, the date and time you proposed provided less than 48 hours notice. Moreover, the Wonsleys were outside Mississippi when your letter was sent and are not scheduled to return until after the deadline you unilaterally imposed. Okay, so please pay attention. Second, the parties never agreed to simply deliver the phone to your office. Instead, the agreement was that we would set a mutually agreeable date and time for the phone to be examined together by your office's forensic professionals, our forensic professionals, okay? And they even said possibly the FBI as well. Third, the parties have not yet agreed upon a forensic protocol addressing at a minimum the scope and method of the examination, chain of custody, preservation of the forensic extraction, access to resulting forensic data, and treatment of information outside of the agreed scope, retention of the extraction, and return of the device. We're prepared to promptly address those logistics so that the examination can proceed while preserving the integrity of the investigation. Okay, please pay attention. Now, this is what they sent because clearly Angel McElrath has, given them a notice. Basically, it sounds like an ultimatum, like drop the phone off or else. Just totally disregarding the previous contract that they made. Okay, and so please pay attention. And so this lawyer is not playing games. And then he further went on to let them know as a reminder, okay, in case they forgot, that in their July the 29th correspondence, that quite frankly, they agreed that they would allow Dr. Mitchell, okay, the other pathologist, that they would allow him access to the body parts that were missing so that he could also examine those as well. That being the throat and the lungs. Okay, please pay attention. Basically, just to let them know that this is what we already agreed to, so let's just stick to that. You want the phone? We're both going to go through the phone, both teams, just as agreed upon. And also, what about the throat and the lungs? Okay, you were supposed to give that to Dr. Mitchell.
Straight
Okay,
up.
so I just have questions as to what's the holdup. Okay, please pay attention. Meanwhile, you have the naysayers out here going in on the onesies, acting as though they just don't want to cooperate and don't want to give up the phone. Well, first of all, there's a trust factor. Okay, I mean, if you come out immediately saying that there's no reason to suspect foul play, when you haven't even started your investigation, well, of course, I would have questions too. So that being said, I'm sure that they just want to make sure that everything is done in the correct and proper manner. Okay, please pay attention. And then he ended with, and I'm not sure if this was shade being thrown or not, but he said, thank you for responding, okay, to the threats and intimidation that have been occurring with the Wansley's family. Okay, we have been keeping notes on that and gathered evidence, and we'll be sending it to your office sometime in the near future. Okay, please pay attention. Honey, this attorney is standing on business.
Right.
Then lastly, he said, the family and legal team remain committed to a careful and thorough and complete investigation into the circumstances surrounding Nolan's death. Okay, please pay attention. So, at this point, it is not on the Wansleys or their attorney. Okay, their attorney has done his due diligence and sent over the proper letters letting them know. And also, he said something about in the future, basically, and I'm paraphrasing, but basically in the future, there needs to be written agreements. Okay, because clearly they can't be trusted to keep up the oral agreements that have been made. Okay, please pay attention. Then for her to hit them with a 48-hour notice, knowing good and well they were not even in Mississippi at the time. I mean, because we all saw where they delivered the press conference. Okay, clearly they weren't in Mississippi, so make that make sense. All I'm saying is it doesn't seem like it's the Wansleys who are not willing to cooperate. It seems like it's the other way around. Okay, please pay attention.
Pay attention, please. If it's one thing you do, you got to pay attention, is what she said. Now, Sam said it was one thing he thought was real funny about that said interview with Jax.
Secret Service Sam here with a Nolan Xavier Wells update, and I just can't help but in this clip of Jax over explaining himself.
Wouldn't you think that you would have seen Nolan on the bottom of on the floor or something, or scrambling around, or everybody in a pot like in a small space on the boat looking at him or something? I mean, it's just so crazy to think that. Why would we call CETO if we have a dead body on the boat? I mean, why would we call the Coast Guard? Why would we do the things we did if we know we killed somebody? And then another following up on that is, why aren't we in jail yet? I mean, we're not geniuses. There's no way we could have done a murder. I mean, there's no way we could have covered it up, especially out there with that many people.
We couldn't have done this. And do you think we would have done this? Like, don't you think you would have seen a body or something on the floor of the boat? Which there is a video going around, which Officer Race Tatum put up, which people do think they see a hand popping out. I'm not so sure about this, but people are already speculating. And in the great words of my good man's is Donnell Rawlings, say less. Because the more you explain something away, the more questions, in my opinion, it has people asking of like, why would he say something like this? And then is it me, or does it look like Warren and him are looking like, yo, shut up? What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. Secret Service Sam out. Samson for president.
That's right. Hey, look. So look, they already own the boat thing. The boat thing is already they own it. Everybody's on it. Major update already.
Update in the Nolan Wells file. Do you see that? This is the Triton. You could fit a body up under there. This is Wyatt's brother in 2023. Just like she pointed out, you see how long the fish extend down this boat? And that's only half the photo. You remember that the boat had returned to the mainland hours earlier at 5:44 p.m. and the family was entirely unaware that Nolan was not on it until much later that night. So let's play with the idea that Warren Hudson and all those friends are telling the truth. After returning to the mainland and seeing that Nolan Wells' phone and keys was with y'all, they state that they called Katie to see if Nolan was with her or if Nolan hitched a ride with anyone else. So if allegedly they confirmed early in the day that Nolan Wells is with her, then why did they call Christine Wells at 11:07 saying that Nolan Wells is missing? Y'all were under the assumption that Nolan Wells was with Katie, right? So then that would have to mean it was before 11:07 that y'all knew Nolan Wells was missing. But then why would you think that he was missing unless you're hiding something? Kind of like allegedly a body in the bottom of the Triton. Not to mention, when Christine Wansley pulls up at the house, they're all inside the living room with the lights off watching TV. And you're telling me that your friend is missing and you're watching fucking TV? Not actively with all the lights on coming together at the living room table saying, okay, where was Nolan Wells the last time? Okay, we saw him here, put our phones together, here's this photo, that photo. No. See, Wyatt Pyron is the one that made the phone call to the police to notify that Nolan Wells was missing, correct? He was also the first to speak to this Jackson County Sheriff's Office earlier that day before his mother, Jennifer Pyron, was able to. Always trying to stay one step ahead. And that is why allegedly they refused to let the search dogs on there when the police showed up. It states that both teams, Ben Grump, allegedly, and Edward Polczyk, denied for the dogs to search the boat that day. But later on, Ben Grump goes to have an argument and criticizes them, and then they come out to say that they never really actually talked to Ben Grump themselves. So, if we know anything, they lied about what Nolan Wells was wearing because they said that he was fully clothed. Updating the Nolan.
See, man, they own it about this. They should have never. See, they shouldn't have put out all of them boat. I think they did way more harm than help with all of these boat issues and the way that they trying to lie on the phone. I mean, even my man's like, I wouldn't give the phone up either.
New update regarding Nolan Wells, and I'm going to say it. It is a bombshell piece of information regarding the Nolan Wells investigation. Over the last couple of days, you've heard me say that the family is waiting for the district attorney to get in touch with them to schedule that joint investigation and cell phone extraction. Right. We just found out on August 13th, which was literally just 2 days ago, that said district attorney Mickelrath of the Jackson County, Mississippi, decided to send another letter to the family stating, you have 48 hours to drop off the cell phone. I'm sorry, is that the same thing as a joint investigation when the words are, you have 48 hours to drop off the cell phone, or you have 48 hours to possess the cell phone for us? Is that the same thing as saying we're going to have a joint investigation? Don't you worry, I'm going to show you the letter right now. Here is the actual letter sent from A.R. Smith, the same attorney that sent out the letter on August 11th. I want to point your attention to right here. To date, Nolan's parents remain willing to facilitate an appropriate forensic examination of Nolan Wells' phone, including FBI involvement, according to our agreement on July 15th. However, your letter sent to Eric Hertz on August 12th at 12:51 p.m. set a deadline for Wednesday to deliver the phone to your office by August 14th at 9 a.m. This is not practical for a number of reasons. Now, that's a 2-page letter. I just showed you one of the excerpts. But the reason why it's not practical is 2 big reasons. And again, this is in that actual letter if you guys want to look it up. The first reason was that you agreed that there would be a joint investigation into the cell phone extraction investigation. But you're saying you need to drop the phone off at the office on August 14th at 9 a.m. That doesn't strike me as a joint investigation. That strikes me as, give us the phone, we'll go through it, and then we'll get back to you later. The second reason why it's impractical is because at the time, the Wells family was actually nowhere near Mississippi or nowhere near an area where they could actually drop it off and be compliant with that deadline. So those are the 2 main reasons why. Now, again, you guys can read the letter yourself. But this now makes sense. This is why the family is so concerned, and this is why the family is so upset. Because the DA now is essentially going back on what they said, saying, we want you to drop off the phone on August 14th, when on July 15th, they said, we will do a joint investigation together.
Right.
This is why the Wells family is so frustrated with this investigation. And this is why they're trying to get the Department of Justice involved. This is why all the leadership are getting involved in this. Is because the family was under the expectation that the district attorney in Jackson County, Mississippi, was going to do a joint investigation based on the July 15th meeting.
Right.
We just found out they may not want to do a joint investigation anymore. They're asking the Wells family to drop off the phone on August 14th at 9 a.m., which has already passed. But still, just drop off the phone.
Nah, we ain't doing that. And then, it's not only the phone thing, y'all. Where that neck at? Where that neck go?
Let's go back to this. Okay, maybe it was common procedure for her to hold on to it, but we've given her a long enough grace period, going into 2 months now.
Right.
And they've still not agreed to let Dr. Mitchell come and examine the missing parts.
Right.
So now explain how that's not foul play. Maybe at first that was a common procedure and we gave her a little bit of a slide. But now we're going into 2 months and they've still not let the second pathologist examine the parts. So explain that, Boyd. And let's go back to
what
this.
I'm saying. Let's not forget about the neck, y'all. Let's not forget about the neck. And with that being said, you wonder why you need to look at everything. Like, everybody has to be a suspect at this point. That's why the FBI getting called and all of that. Because this is deeper than y'all think.
I think at this point, I know we've differed a little bit on this. This might be a good basis now to call in the FBI.
Yeah.
Because you need someone to take over the investigation. You have to have the FBI come in. They've done it before in major cases in the past. You could name them off the top of your head. But now's the time to take it from them because they're not giving it up and they need to.
If you discovered one phone call between somebody that is politically connected and somebody that is investigating this case, what's your next move?
Now I want all the records. I want the records of that person. I follow the trail. If I have 2 people in a conversation, I want to know who those 2 people were talking to independent of that. I want to trace it all the way back, not just to the beginning of this case, July 4th, but to before that. How deep do the ties go?
Yeah.
We're talking, the real, Black Flag, Cloak and Dagger type Yale underground fraternity stuff here, right? How like the black hand of the government, right? We've all heard the Illuminati type stories. This is what we're talking about at a state level, where it goes so deep, right? You have a few families that control a certain geography. Start to look that way here, right? You bring in all the emails, all the public records. I want to see financials. I want to see where their ties are. Do they go to the same golf club together? The same car dealership? Has anyone had any really big contributions made to them or gifts that maybe weren't disclosed? Anyone getting free trips on a flight? Anyone getting a lot of free meals? For the public officials, they are fair game. I've always said they're fair game. You look at everything.
Hell yeah. I like how he put that, like straight up. Everything, leave no stone unturned. I don't see why, right? But I want y'all. Somebody pointed this out, and I said this too while the interview was going on. Didn't we have that? Didn't we have that motive about Katie, right? And being Katie, being Bart's girl, and this, that, and the third. Listen to this. This is pretty interesting what Jack said. Listen.
He was the peacemaker of our friend group. I mean, anytime anybody had beef over somebody, over a girl or whatever, he would go over there and start talking to him. He's like, man, I think this guy's actually pretty cool. I think we should become friends with this guy. Yeah. And lo and behold, we would somehow become friends with the dude, even though he's getting with one of our other buddies' exes or whatever.
Even though he's getting with one of our other buddies' exes or whatever. Did you hear that?
He was the peacemaker of our friend group. I mean, anytime anybody had beef over somebody, over a girl or whatever, he would go over there and start talking to him. He's like, man, I think this guy's actually pretty cool. I think we should become friends with this guy. Yeah. And lo and behold, we would somehow become friends with the dude, even though he's getting with one of our other buddies' exes or whatever. But he was.
You hear that? Did you hear that? Wow. I mean, where did that narrative come from? Truth hurts. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That was pretty strange. They've been saying strange stuff this whole time, man. And the grand gaslight is so big, it's like, you bet not talk about all of this iffy stuff that we saying. Look, did we think about how many toes they need? This is another thing that I snatched that we didn't think about. I'm only talking about stuff that we didn't think about. We should know all the information now. Now we should be able to play with it. Did y'all think about this?
Wyatt, you're on the phone with Cito right there. But you're being towed as well by the fart. So the fart is towing you in this picture.
Right.
But you're also calling Cito for a tow?
Yeah.
Why do you need another tow if you're already being towed, Wyatt? Why would you need to call Cito to be towed if the fart is towing you? Make that make sense.
That one went over my head, but she's totally right. Because it was all during the interview. My buddy Bart came out with the boat and the boat and Bart with the boat. That's all he kept saying. But then y'all got on the thing called Cito, and then y'all didn't even need a tow. And I guess we supposed to just I don't know, gloss over that, right? We should just gloss over that. See, they out here slipping. They slipping. They didn't let these pictures come up and all of that. And then this chick right here, she's so fanatical. She been on them, I'm talking about, for days. She ain't letting up on nothing. shout out to Shorty. I forgot what her name. Hold on, let me see. What's her name? Uh, Damn, I just googled her up. I'm gonna find it out. I'm gonna shout her name out, but she been going in.
Where we had left off, Warren had already called Miss Christine, and then they somehow ended up at Jax's grandparents' house. That's where they all stayed that weekend, and so that's why Nolan's keys were over there. They had to have been at the grandparents' house, who mysteriously never showed up during any of these confrontations. Somehow the phone had gone from the party that they were all at to Jax's place, and then Warren left after a phone call to Morgan. According to them, 10 to 15 people showed up and just walked into Jax's house and demanded the phone. Wyatt gave the address in which the boat was at. They all start migrating over there. Then Morgan and Wyatt and another friend are tracking their 360s and seeing that they're going over to Wyatt's house. Then they call 911 to tell them that the police are on the way to his house. Then they're searching the boat, and then they come back to Jax's house around 1 o'clock in the morning, according to him. Mind you, that's when they explain to the police about their friend being missing. And so then the report says at 1:38 in the morning, the Jackson County Sheriff's Office say that they spoke to several of the friends that were on the vessel with Nolan, saying that he was in the company of an unknown female. But Morgan, Jax, and Warren all claimed that they did not travel to the island on the same boat as Nolan. So who did they talk to? Because it sounds to me like they had told the police that they were on the same boat as him. Keeping in mind that this is what Warren told Miss Christine.
Named Katie. And so then it turned into, Katie is also missing. No one can find her. And the explanation of no one knows this Katie, like we've never met her.
And Tristan said this.
I was talking on my other buddy's phone, talking to Warren. He was dialing Coast Guard because he hung up the phone and was like, hey, this is them, bye, and hung up the phone. And that was the last time I talked to him.
Mind you, Tristan is friends with Katie. They are mutuals. I have confirmed this. So now that we've got that timeline fucking straight, let's back up to something that Warren said during this interview.
If you're motivated enough to do it, yeah. Like, I made a phone call to my mom, and I had to call her like 8 times before she picked up because either her service was bad, because she was on the back side of the aisle on the south side, or my service was bad, and it was just hard to get through.
Do y'all see that? Let me play it again slower for you.
Either her service was bad because she was on the back side of the aisle on the south side, or my service was bad, and it was just hard to get through.
Oh no. Not only did Warren confirm that his mom was on the south side of the island, but Warren himself said that if you're motivated enough, you can call somebody. I tried calling my mom 8 times. Yet this is what he said last time.
A little off the island, you have cell coverage, and even on the island, like I called my mom when we were on the island, it was fine.
So which is it? Did you call your mom with ease, or did you try to call her 8 times because you were motivated to get in touch with her? But Warren wasn't the only one to slip up, because listen.
And he's on the phone with Cito, and he's trying to get them on the phone. And as he stated in the moment, he's like, Cito's just asking all these dumb questions. I can't figure out what's going on. And so finally hangs up, and after the trim to the motor started to work again. So they manually trim it down by the buttons on the motor, trimmed it down, and some electronics started to come back on. And they got the boat to crank over, and they're like, all right, untie us.
So first off, Jax just proved that the boys put the phone on mute during the call with Cito. Because I've listened to the entire 8-minute call, and at no point does they ever say anything about them asking all these stupid questions. Then he said after they hung up on the Cito, that's when it started working again, and they said, okay, untie us, implying that it had been tied up to the other boat the entire time. But we see in this video that they are hauling the line back in right here as he's on the phone. See, you can see right here where the line is being pulled in from across the way where the boat is stationed. Meaning he had already hung up with Cito at that point, and he had to have been on the phone with someone else. And what we see here is, once again, we have an interview where they go into so much detail about stuff that doesn't fucking matter.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and first off explain a boat.
We fucking get how a bilge pump works. We get it by now.
Right.
Talking about the bilge pump. What we actually want to hear about is the multiple stops that were made before ending up back at the grandparents' house before they even took the boat to the boat dock. We want you guys to explain how the Cito was canceled by the grandfather on the captain's private line before you guys had even hung up with Cito. That's why nobody believes a fucking word.
Dang, she cussed so much.
word that you are saying. Because I showed y'all yesterday how AI had clearly doctored these photos. If you missed it, look, silver pole. Look, no silver pole. It's actually white. And if you look at this picture in the grandparents' driveway of the Triton, you will see that the little handrails are not leaning over. You will see that the rails are going straight up and down and not leaning, which is why I also suspect that the identity of whoever this is was intentionally covered up. Because first off, who wears this weird swimsuit thing? This is somebody who, if they were with them, would have stood out in a crowd. But this woman who's in a red striped swimsuit with a white baseball cap shows up in a lot of different pictures, just oh so obscured. Here she is again, handing out beers on Bart's boat. So I personally suspect that whoever that was in fact on the Triton, and they used AI to change her clothing and to obscure her identity. Because I think this was either Warren's mother or Wyatt's stepmother, which would explain the older female voice people have said they've heard on the Ceto. Because otherwise, why would he need to call his mother 8 times? Unless, according to his own words,
If you're motivated enough to do it, yeah.
because remember, there is a 4th boat out there. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Holy fuck, I just accidentally stumbled onto something that...
Wow. Come on now. Come on now. I mean, Shorty breaking it all the way down. Right? Broke that all the way down. I can't wait for her part 2 on my mama. Because she been putting in work. And then when we talk about that boat, did you know how big the boat was? Like you could really fit somebody on the boat?
Well. Listen, if you haven't already given J Megan a follow, you need to go do this because this woman is an investigator. But she found the inside of what the boat looks like. This is the Triton. You see how deep that is? It's deep enough to hide a body, isn't it? And like Jay said, it's kind of suspicious on why Wyatt wanted to call the police when the Wansley Wells family were going to search the inside of his boat at his house, isn't it? Listen, if you didn't have nothing to hide, why are you hiding? Why wouldn't you let them search that boat? I'll tell you this. I'll tell you right now, that whole story that those 2 crooked ass lawyers keep concocting, saying that there's no way that Nolan was on that boat, looks like he could fit to me. What about you?
Hold on. And I got something to back that up. We back to my girl again about the space on that boat.
My brain needs a rest after the last couple of days. Now we know for sure that there was storage in the bow of the boat. All right, so now at this point, I am pretty sure that the Triton was there all day. They didn't switch out the boats. And I'm also pretty certain at this point that this is a real video, because there's one single frame where you can see Bart's boat and you can also see the toes of somebody like dangling them off the water. So if the picture or video were AI, it would be a really bizarre thing for it to just kind of throw in. But there's zero question in my mind that this video has been altered. So then the question becomes, why would they alter this video? And the only thing that logically makes sense to me is to alter the identity of the 2 girls. Because if Carter is the boy in red, Wyatt is the boy in the American shorts, Bart's brother Brooke being the one in the navy blue shorts, and then Ike being the one in the teal shorts. Then we've got Warren up here with somebody in this red striped swimsuit and the girl in the teal swimsuit with the backwards hat. So in this picture, this would be Brooks, this would be Ike, this would be Wyatt, this would be Warren, which would leave this to be Carter. Now, whoever this is seems to be very cuddly with Carter. Like, too cuddly, in my opinion, for it to be like a mother or a family member. Thinking about it a lot from the timeline that we have been told, and what we haven't really been factoring in again is the party. Because remember, Warren said he went to the party, but instead of talking with all of his friends, he went upstairs to go talk with his girlfriend's dad. Now, those families are tight, so if that dad of Ava if that conversation with the dad didn't happen, then they would automatically know that they were lying. So I've been saying for a while that the girl was somehow involved. And mind you, everybody's back on land now. They're getting ready to do the fireworks, and everybody's swimming and drinking still, blah, blah, blah. So what's the excuse for no pictures at that party? They've explained it all away during the day, but at this point, they're all just being teenagers and having fun again, right? So I'm thinking that the brunette girl is Ava, the girl whose house they went to. And she's pretty close with Warren and the Pyrone family.
And they're full speed running. And then after that, I didn't see them anymore. I think you were on the boat. You start from there?
Yeah, so after we planed off, Wyatt kept the boat pinned the whole way in. We ran into the mouth of Fort Bayou, where we came from originally. And we turned into Fort Bayou, went in the channel, ran probably 500, 600 yards into Fort Bayou. Wyatt had jumped out of the boat, put the plug back in the boat so access water. So water didn't keep pushing and filling back the boat.
According to their own words, they went into the mouth and then they turned and they went about 500-600 feet. Now, mind you, the party house is right around, but they go past it and then loop back around. However, Warren just admitted that at some point they had to stop and Wyatt jumped in. And even then, you heard him stuttering over the story. Like, it wasn't a smooth transition. Because I think they dropped her off. Which would explain why they would go back to this party, because obviously they can't cancel the party. That looks really suspicious. Then, my theory has always been that the guys all, like, broke off and, like, talked to the parents about what was going on. And that's when they formulated their whole, we'll call her and then we'll call the Coast Guard plan. Remember, she is related. Somehow I can't figure out, but she is related through marriage to the lieutenant that wrote up the very initial report we've seen. Because remember how Morgan claimed that the picture of the boat stuff was circulating around Snapchat and stuff, even though Christine didn't post it to her Facebook page until the next day. Listen to this.
His mom was, what was he wearing? And so we were trying to remember what color his shorts were. We couldn't quite figure that out.
I said black.
Yeah, I think we said black.
I really did. He was wearing navy blue shorts?
Yeah, it was like dark blue shorts.
Dark. I just said black because I was trying to piece everything together and help out.
And so at this point, we're freaking out. We don't know where our friend's at. And the girl that took the picture, she was like, okay, well, I just took this picture of today. This is what color swim trunks he was wearing. And his mom asked for that to post on Facebook to say, if you've seen him, whatever, this is what he was wearing.
So remember, the girl who took the picture with the digital camera was on Wyatt's boat at the beginning of the day and then was there with them at night when they were having this discussion. So she had to have been there at the beginning and at the party at the very least. And we remembered that the original shorts picture, well, that wasn't the color of his shorts, as we now know. So we also know for a fact that this picture did not get sent to Christine until July 5th, meaning that they had to have had that picture and then not sent it to her for hours. Because they also said this.
And so that's what we sent to her, or that's what she sent to her, because we're just trying.
So they corrected themselves. He said, we sent it. No, she sent it. So then on July 5th, Christine said that they have been up for almost 48 hours straight. And then the very next post above it are the same pictures, but better quality. Why did it take so long to get these pictures to them? Oh, and y'all, now that I said that, I realize. So all of these pictures had to come from the same digital camera, right? Meaning this picture did as well. And since I've already proven that this picture had used AI to do something weird because, you know, there was no little bar here, only explanation for using AI on just this little part would be to obscure the reflection that was in this pole of the person who was taking the video. Or the pictures. Oh my God, yes. That makes sense. Love it when I figure that stuff out in real time for you on camera. So it makes sense to me that this photo video thing was altered to cover up this girl's swimsuit. Because let's face it, this swimsuit is the ugliest thing. It has like supposedly like sleeves and it's a tankini, but it goes like in a weird cut, but it's ugly. It's ugly and it's clearly not what these debutante beauty queen girls are wearing to a 4th of July beach party. So I'm like 70% sure that this is Ava. Oh wait, oh my God. Wait a second. What? Shown y'all guys before that there's 4 boats out here, this little cluster, right? But I'm looking at these weird pink lumps and stuff at the front of the boat, Bart's boat here. Is that a pile of life vests? Because I'm realizing there's not 20, 30 people on all of these boats. Like, I'm seeing 10, 12 people here tops. Let's not forget what a full house looks like on these boats. Because even in this video at the meetup place, there's not 20, 30 people getting ready to get on these boats. I mean, the boat left at 9:56 according to the GPS. We got like 7, 8 people here, like 6 people here. And also, if they were legitimately needing to be towed and they were trying to get the water to run off, why are they all spread out on the boat? Why are they on the boat in general? Why didn't they just get off on land or get on another boat? Trying to get the boat to tip up and go planing. Why do you have over half the boat on the front of the boat? These are experienced fucking fishermen. They know better than that. Yeah, I can't believe I've never thought of that before. If the boat was sinking, why are they even on the fucking boat? Yeah, and if it was so common and so easy to get, rides back with other people, strangers on Horn Island, why did they need to load everybody on the boat? Or were they yelling at Nolan to get on the boat? They didn't need to get him on the boat. And now that I'm looking at this, doesn't it look like Warren is on the phone? Could this have been when he was calling his mom 8 times? Also, one more thing that stuck out to me.
We called law enforcement. I was with Wyatt at the time after we left Jax's house that night. I was with Wyatt, and one person we were with saw that their location was headed towards Wyatt's house. And so Wyatt got on the phone with 911 and was like, hey, these people are on the way to my house or already at my house. My mom and my dad are there alone, and they know nothing about this.
He stumbled over his words from beginning to end in that story, so I don't believe any of it. But the one thing that sticks out to me was the phrasing, they don't know anything about this. If people are heading over to your house, why wouldn't you call your mom and dad before you called 911? Because it sounded like he was trying to keep his parents out of the loop of this story, which as a teenage boy implies that you have something to hide. Just a lot of different things to think about, right? All right, after
that was deep. If she didn't go, she went to the depths of hell on their ass. But if she didn't come with the comings, right? And this too. I wanted to dispel the myth of that CETO call, because that CETO call is a very, very intricate part of this whole thing.
You know what's crazy about people who are quick to say that? Who are you trusting? The same corrupted news media that lies to you. That CETO call, nobody ever thought it would be analyzed. It sounds like an alibi cover-up call. So when I see those comments, it's fake. Who are you believing that is fake? Let me be clear. I'm not saying I know exactly what happened to Nolan Wells, because I don't. But here's what I do know intuitively. Something malicious happened to him.
Right.
Stevie Wonder could see that something malicious happened to him.
Real easy.
There are details in this case that deserve questions. The CETO call sounds suspicious to me. If you hear no suspicion on that call, something's wrong with you. You may hear it differently, fine. What concerns me is how quickly some people have gone from, I have questions about this evidence, to it's fake, it's AI, those boys are innocent. Y'all cannot wait to call white children boys, but call young black kids a man.
Come on.
How do we get here? Because critical thinking means being willing to question everything, even what the media is feeding you. Question the audio, question the timeline, these supposed photos which have no timestamps. Nolan's missing phone. Okay, he stayed on the island. His phone, no teenager is not taking their phone. The circumstances surrounding the last people known to be with him. They were the last people to see him alive. Those things deserve investigation. It doesn't automatically prove guilt, but the girl they supposedly said he was with, she said that no, he wasn't with her. So something is not right. And this is where I think we have a serious problem with media literacy. Media literacy is what we need to talk about, okay? That means you analyze what the media is selling. We have been conditioned to believe that if something is recorded or photographed or released by an official source, then it's a complete truth, right? But we have seen repeatedly that footage doesn't automatically mean justice. So those pictures that they're showing on the boats and that they're supposed witnesses, we don't know that that's true.
Exactly.
Just this week, we saw body cam footage showing an Arkansas state trooper throwing an 18-year-old black girl to the ground and punching her during a traffic stop.
Yeah, I did.
And we know, did body cam stop police brutality? It did not. Evidence does not interpret itself. And just because you have some footage of them on the boat and Nolan was there and when they were coming back, we need to see the timestamps, we need to see the timeline. We have to examine everything. And we have to recognize that power is playing a role in all of this.
Come on now.
That requires critical thinking. So when I say something about the Nolan Wells case doesn't sit right with me, I'm not asking you to adopt my conclusion, but I'm asking you to think critically.
That's what people have a hard time doing. But that's because, that just comes from the disdain for black people. He got a black daddy, so they don't want to believe nothing. If Nolan was half Asian and half white, it'd be a totally different story out here. We'd know what happened to Nolan if he was Keanu Reeves. If he was Keanu Reeves, we know what happened to Nolan right away. It wouldn't have been 2 months later, and we still talking about what happened to Nolan. If Nolan was half Asian and half white, it would have been done. White boys are not. Because then he would have been a double whammy. He would have got the Asian hate crime bill and been white. Boom, boom. He would have been Gucci. I'm telling you what I know and not what I think about. Now, this one is pretty strange too, y'all. This white girl has been driving around Ocean Springs, exposing the fact that they got a bunch of cameras around the town, so they BSing on, extra footage. But she threw this video up, and it say it was taken at 3:50 p.m. July 4th on Horn Island. And supposedly what it shows, I don't know if y'all gonna be able to see it well. It does get a little bigger, but what it shows is somebody having a fight in the water, like kind of, I guess, being choked out and drowned at the same time. So it's like a fight happening. And I'm going to show y'all where it's at. And I think they said it's this right here. This fight right here in the water, which looks like, it's farther in the background. So I guess, light or dark or whatever the case. But they're saying that that's a fight going on. Look, and it's like you see two legs in the air right here.
Oh.
Now, when we think in terms of that choke with the thing on the back of the neck and the whoop whoop whoop, is he dead? Blah blah blah. Not saying that it is this what it is, but it's out there now, and this is as of today, and that's definitely a video on Horn Island. And like I knew from the beginning, man, you can't tell me it's all type of people out there and wasn't no phones, they ain't nobody seen nothing. It's starting to come out. That's what it is. I mean, you even got them folks asking simple questions.
I believe that we should all have as concerned citizens in the United States of America surrounding the Nolan Wells investigation and case. One, what teenage boy decides to stay on an island 10 miles off the coast of Mississippi without his phone, without his wallet, without any guaranteed ride back to the mainland? The argument was made that phones were put up in dry storage. Okay, but at the point that he consciously chose to stay on the island with the girl, allegedly, why would he not grab his phone and take it with him just in case he was unable to hitch a ride with some stranger back to the mainland? What was his plan to get back to the mainland? Question number 2, why isn't anybody talking about this comment allegedly from Bart Edmondson saying, I just want you to know Nolan was a friend of mine. I want justice and the facts to come out. I just want you to know I live in Wyoming and have not been to Pass Christian for over a year. I grieve for Nolan and want the same as everyone else. Thank you for your support. This was super early in this case, in this investigation, before it blew up. has anybody verified whether or not this was really Bart Edmondson's comment? And if not, who would have information about where Bart lives to know that he lives in Wyoming, plays football there, and that he would not be in Mississippi at this time, or that he would potentially not be at the scene of where Nolan Wells went missing? And why would they create a quote-unquote burner account to respond to people in comments? I don't believe this piece of evidence is talked about enough. We do know that very early on, after it blew up, after all of this, they all deactivated their social media accounts and went ghost completely off the internet while lawyering up. Number 3, why would Sheriff Ledbetter, who is overseeing this case, immediately within hours after finding Nolan Wells' body, say to the general public that they suspect no foul play in a ongoing investigation?
These are
number
fair
4,
questions.
which is tied to 3. Why would Governor Tate Reeves reiterate what the Sheriff Ledbetter had said about suspecting no foul play?
These are fair questions.
Knowing that their words carry weight. In fact, Governor Reeves says he doesn't know much about the case. He just suspects that there's no foul play. Question number 5, which is tied to 3 and 4. Has anybody verified this alleged photo of Bart's father, who is also a doctor in Ocean Springs, Mississippi, and the governor of Mississippi, who said early on they suspected no foul play? 6, has anybody connected Elizabeth Edmondson to Governor Tate Reeves as being appointed on the Board of Health for the state of Mississippi? Which leads me to question number 7. Why won't they do an independent and joint investigation of Nolan Wells' phones with the forensic evidence? Given the fact that there are a lot of ties to powerful people, allegedly, with appointments to the Board of Health and whatnot, could you maybe understand why the family of Nolan Wells would be hesitant to turn anything over to law enforcement and expect no foul play on their end?
Right.
Question number 8. If you genuinely suspected no foul play, then why would you refuse to send the throat over to the independent autopsy done by Nolan Wells' legal team? Question number 9. If you genuinely believe that Nolan Wells stayed back on an island with a girl, and then you go on to say that you thought that maybe he would have been asleep on the couch or something, then why would you call the Coast Guard at 11 p.m. on July 4th to report him missing or suspect that something was wrong?
These is good questions. I'm just saying, I'm going to stop him when he wrong, but my man is broiling. He might got a little butter in the water. Nah, I'm going to give him some salt and pepper. That boy got butter, salt, and pepper in the water, broiling that thing.
In the interview with Brandon Tatum, you initially thought that the search party was overreacting because you assumed Nolan had just crashed on someone's couch. But also, why would you call the Coast Guard then if they were overreacting? Like, which one is it? Question number 10. Allegedly, the phone call to Cito was made around 4 o'clock. When giving coordinates to the Cito operator, Vicky, she specifically asked after hearing the coordinates, are you on Horn Island? Like, directly on Horn Island, she was asking. Yep. And you said no, you were sinking and you were not aground, but you were off of the island. Well, why does the GPS data from the boat say that you left Horn Island at 4:31 p.m.? What exactly was going on during that time that we could hear in the background of Wyatt being distracted with the commotion while also trying to have a conversation with the Cito operator? Question number 11. Why and how did the Cito get canceled? You were on the phone with Cito when she transferred over to the captain of Cito. He had already spoken to the grandfather who said to cancel it, that you didn't need it. So there were two things going on at the same time here. Well, really three if you count the commotion in the background. Yeah. Question number 12. Why did somebody scream, "Oh my God," and "Damn it, Bart"? Are you telling us that we did not hear "Damn it, Bart"?
Damn it, Bart.
And finally, my last question, at least for now, why is everybody getting upset that we're even asking questions? Nolan's family deserves justice, And justice for Nolan is justice for everyone. Questions I believe that we should all have as concerned citizens in the United States of America surrounding the Nolan Wells investigation and case. 1. What teenage boy decides to stay on an island 10 miles out there?
Man, I'm telling you, if that boy had the questions, there was the straightforward questions. And with all of those questions, people wonder why we're looking at people who's supposed to be his friends since 8th grade funny? That's the grand gaslight part of it. With all of those questions, we supposed to just let the process? Nah, I don't think so. Hey, look, y'all even look, they even got TMZ backpedaling.
Backpedaling. Because what do you mean Charles gonna get up there and talk about how this looks a little odd, this looks a little suspicious, why are you doing these interviews if you're innocent? After most of the coverage that TMZ has done on the Nolan Wells case has in fact been in the favor of believing that these boys have done nothing wrong. Oh, excuse me, these grown-ass men. I refuse to infantilize them. It seems like they've realized that the public opinion is in fact correct because of the secondary interview they did with Officer Tap Dance. And now to try to give themselves some sort of credibility because people are not trusting them, especially their reporting on this situation, it seems a little weird. And the word on the street is after Charles made this comment on TMZ is that he's taking a few days off or he's been told to take a few days off. Baby, I don't know. That's just the hoopla going on in the comment section. But what I do find weird is that it took y'all this secondary interview before y'all realized that something was off. It took y'all that long to realize something was not adding up.
Right.
Because a lot of us saw it from jump. But we got told we were playing the race card, that we were reaching. Maybe he's had his come to Jesus moment. I don't know. But in the same way that we knew Chris Watts was guilty when he did that interview on the news saying, I just want them home. If somebody has them, I just want them back. It's the same way we know that these boys know a lot more than they're letting on. It does not take a rocket scientist or a goddamn police investigator, past interrogator, body language analysis expert to see that. Baby, I'm just some random bitch that likes to watch true crime all the time. And I can tell these motherfuckers lying. So I just find it weird. The switch up is weird. Y'all don't find the switch up weird?
I think it's weird. You know, when Warren sat down with the guy, I know we don't want to say his name, I was like, okay, this one kid and his mom is a judge and maybe he wants to sort of clear his name. But now every week, another friend sits down, another friend sits down, and now they've got this lawyer and they're sitting down and doing interviews. It's weird to me. And what's really, it's not just weird. Yeah, there are people who are going to say things on the internet. Why does that rise to the level of you need an attorney to now sit down and do interviews to publicize yourself, to try and change the court of public opinion? Why do you care about a court of public opinion? Because you didn't do anything. And ultimately, if you didn't do anything, that's all going to come out when the results of the autopsy come out, when the investigation comes out. Like, this attorney is probably convinced them, yes, do this and talk about this and it'll change public opinion. But what it really does, some people will look at it and go like, well, what are you getting out in front of? If you didn't do anything, there's nothing to get out in front of. So in some ways, it can backfire on you. It's just weird to me. And then you also run the risk of what did happen is that one of these kids sits down and blasts Nolan's mom and says that she was wrong to put out that photo. It's not going to play well in the public for you, man. That you're attacking the mother of your best friend, who you're so distraught about losing him, yet you're doing an interview where you're attacking his mom. That's right. It's just stupid.
Not TMZ backpedaling. Because what do you mean Charles
Well, I'm
gonna get
saying
up there and talk about how
that alone right
this looks a
there.
little odd, this looks
Hold up, I forgot even that point. The point that TMZ made that we all skipping over. If that was your boy you grew up school with, shot dice with, get nice with, you ain't up there disrespecting his mom. She don't know me. And she don't know me, then she don't know nothing about her son then, because she should know me. I done dropped him off a whole bunch of times. He done got in my car a whole bunch of times. She don't know me. What you mean, Christine? You don't know me? You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, bro. Like, come on down, little Charlie Brown. To me, it ain't making no type of sense. You dig? And you know what? Y'all must come for the abuse and the punishment. Is that what y'all come for? Let me get this knowledge out real quick, and then I got some videos for y'all. But did y'all know that Brandon Tatum and the lawyers was working together? Did you know that?
Behavior from Officer Tatum. See, Tatum has been lying to everyone, right? Anyone with an ear to listen, he's quick to tell you that people have a problem with what he's been doing in this Nolan Wells situation because he's not taking sides. right? Because he's being objective and just telling the truth. No, the problem is people have realized that Tatum has been compromised from day one. And there was really no way to prove it until now.
When it comes to majority black community, some of the celebrities, D.L. Hughley and others, they absolutely me. They think I'm Satan, and they think that I my mama, who's...
You actually are Satan. And real quick though, just really off the subject, I would like to prove that because I did indeed. And maybe he saw my reel, y'all. Maybe Officer Tatum saw my reel, but I definitely, indeed, I did call him a demon, devil, Satan. This is damn devils. It ain't no other way. Yes, he's a demon. Officer Race Tatum is a demon. I just wanted to make sure we was clear on that.
Black, just because I decided to interview people who asked me to interview them. And I don't know how people have conflated what I have done in this interview or in this process, but they have. And this is not abnormal. When you're black in America and you don't toe the line of where, quote unquote, the black community wants you to, then you're deemed an uncle.
No, it's not.
If you go to every one of Tatum's videos, if you look on your right, there's a bourbon called Verdict. At the very top left is sponsored by Verdict. Now, Verdict bourbon is the key here to discovering how compromised Tatum is. Verdict bourbon is actually created and owned by Brandon Tatum, which is Officer Tatum. See, when you look in the background of the attorney Tyler Cox, when you look into his background, a lot of you guys have already seen it, but you recognize something very familiar. The item in the background that the red arrow is pointing to, that's the Verdict bourbon bottle, right? That's the liquor that's owned by Officer Tatum, right? The attorney has it strategically placed right there when he goes on his press run to give business to Officer Tatum. Now, I actually this people. Can Tatum still be out here giving opinions as an unbiased, neutral party? If the lawyers for the boys is promoting Tatum's Verdict bourbon on his press tour, they're doing business. Whether it's directly or indirectly, this is business. And I feel like Tatum should have disclosed this. This is just evil, man. Y'all let me know in the comments.
Yeah, I just, I just wanted to make sure that y'all knew how it was going down. They all compromised. Yep. Your boy Tatum, the hot devil. Look, they all compromised. All the devils. Devil Warren is compromised. Right? His mammy, little Ashley Cole, she's definitely a devil. That's just a demonized devil. Bart, we ain't forgot about you, Bart. Damn it, Bart. Little devil Bart. Look, we ain't forgot about hold on, we got Tatum. We got my handsome self. Yeah, that's me. We got Tristan the devil. Don't forget about Tristan the devil. Tristan, whatever his name is, he a devil. Don't forget about the DA. Don't forget about her. Trying to hold on to that autopsy. Don't forget about Tate Reeves. You know, the one that we just saw is all buddy and charmy with the family. Don't forget about Tate Reeves, little devil self. Don't forget about the medical examiner, little Mark Levine. Don't forget about the coroner. Ask cuz where that throat at, cuz. Where that throat? Don't forget about Sheriff Ledworser. We cannot. And I won't go through this without it, but we can't forget about Sheriff Ledworser. Mr. No Foul Play Ledworser. Yep. Then don't forget about the dweeb friends doing that interview. We got dweeb Morgan Seymour. Then we got dweeb Jax Pentalio, the dweebist. We got Bad Suit Wyatt. Y'all notice Wyatt been in the cut. Y'all notice Wyatt ain't said nothing. So, which leads me to believe that person that they said was getting into an argument. Was it Wyatt's little brother? Huh? Was that Wyatt's little brother choking, slamming somebody in the water? Huh? Who was that? And was that we know, and we ain't heard from Eric either. Eric was in the picture with Nolan. Eric was definitely on the boat. We ain't heard from him, so we ain't heard from Wyatt, and we ain't heard from Eric, huh? And then there's Katie. But Katie been called in a lie, right? Hold on now. And Katie been caught in the lie. Oh yeah, we ain't forgot about Katie. Oh no. No, we ain't forgot about sis, the devil miss sis. Yeah, this is how you supposed to use AI right here, buddy. This is how you supposed to use it. Y'all get them likes up and go ahead and subscribe. Hit that bell for notifications, because this is how we do on the Keep It P side of the game. Shout out to the 5150. But hold on. Katie was caught out in a lie. Shout out to my girl Tani. Tani broke the whole thing down about the Katie lie. Hold on, she broke the whole thing down.
A new update in the Nolan Wells case. In this video, we are deconstructing what we call the Katie lie. Nolan's mom has come out and spoken. Unfortunately, Warren, Pax, and Jax and Morgan's lawyer have also broken their silence on Nancy Grace. And baby, let me just say this. Nancy Grace is not Officer Tatum at all. She humiliated them. She made them look like jokes. She made them look like clowns. But more importantly, she made them actually answer the questions that we all have been asking. Most importantly, about Katie. You guys, let's get straight into this clip. Then I'm going to give you my evidence combined with what Nolan's mom said out of her mouth happened. And as much as they kick, scream, and fuss, right? Those boys cannot mess with what they actually told Nolan's mom. All right, y'all, let's get into this. This will be broken up for analysis, but let's just jump in, all right? Wait.
No, they did not.
1 second. This is them saying they don't know Katie. It looks like these pictures might not actually be legitimate. I talked about this in my last video. It looks like it might have been staged, and then we need timestamps because it is looking like it's not a depiction. But let's not forget what happened with the Katie incident, okay? Katie was what these boys told Nolan's mom that he had decided to stay on the island with them. And we have to keep in mind that even when they told Nolan's mom that, they gave a name. Okay, but let's keep going.
Did or didn't? Did he say they all did know Katie?
No, they did not.
They didn't know Katie. All right, and they determined who she was. Okay.
Right.
Hey, hold on. Tyler, you stated your clients began to get suspicious, whereas Nolan. When did they get suspicious?
It was later that night. I believe it was around 9 or 10 o'clock, maybe even 11, that they start saying, oh, well, has anyone seen Nolan? Where's Nolan? Did he make it back home? Does anybody know? They start calling around, texting, asking everybody. And once they determined that no one had the answer about where Nolan was, that's when they called Christine Wells. And then they stay on the phone, my client stayed on the phone with Christine Wells for about 5 or 6 minutes. And then he tells her, look, I'm going to call the Coast Guard just to make sure. And he did. He stays on the phone with the Coast Guard for 21 minutes.
Okay. Ed Pulsick also.
we have to pause right there. What did Nolan's mom said happened? Nolan's mom said, first of all, she said that she was the one blowing up Nolan's phone, okay? At 10:48 p.m. was the last time they called Nolan. Why? Because the mom and the aunt were worried about Nolan because Nolan checked in a lot, all right? I have a video where we actually have an interview where she's saying this. At 11 o'clock or around 11:07, Warren calls Nolan's mom and said, "Hey, have you talked, Miss Christine, have you talked to Nolan?" Now, why would you say that when you were sitting in the room where you saw there was a missed call from somebody named Mom? The phone was on and it was going off, right? Okay. And when she was like, "No, he's supposed to with you." No, because he decided to stay back on the island with with this girl named Katie. Now, keep in mind, they gave the name to Nolan's mom. Keep in mind, Tristan, in the interview with Officer Tatum, actually said that when he said bye to Nolan, right? Because Tristan got into a fight. He said some slick shit to Nolan about Katie because he used to mess with Katie. I believe Tristan said he used to mess with Katie. All right. Interesting enough, keep in mind when the officers came to the house to question Warren and friends, they actually didn't even give a name. They said it was some unidentified girl he was with. But let's keep going. Keep that in mind.
Veteran trial lawyer. Ed, do you concur with that explanation of why they first said, "I don't know her, we don't know her, he didn't know her," and then we find out that they had actually been texting with Katie? What's your understanding of that? Again, I had my favorite trial judge, Luther Alverson, would tell every jury, "It is your duty to make all witnesses speak the truth." What does that mean? To reconcile the different seemingly conflicting stories to make everyone be telling the truth and impugn perjury on no one. So maybe there's an explanation for this. Why did they say, "We don't know her," and then they're texting her? So they did know her.
That characterization, they didn't say that. There's no contradiction. I can just tell you this. They didn't know her. Nolan was with her much of the day. And he was still on the island when they left. He apparently spent much of the day with this young lady. That seems to be what happened. But no, there was this young lady was not part of their friend group. That's right.
Okay, so when they say they didn't know her, but yet they were texting her, they did know her name.
Well, I don't know if I agree with that characterization. Yeah, the
well,
premise,
enlighten me. I want to know.
Flawed. Yeah, the premise is flawed. She's not part of their friend group. They don't know her.
You hear me?
Sorry. Now, let's be real about this with the whole Katie thing. One, let's talk about the elephant in the room. These boys and their representatives have been trashing Nolan's mom since this thing started. On Officer Tatum, on many different interviews, on how they've been trashing. Nolan's mom came out and said, "We don't know Tristan," right? Nolan's mom came out and said, "Well, we don't know half these boys that say they're Nolan's friends." Yes, they know Wyatt, right? Yes, they know of Warren, but they don't know him. And they've been trashed as, "Oh, you're lying. You know us. You know us. You know us." But somehow you give a name for Katie. You don't. You give a name to Nolan's mom named Katie. Now, the funny thing is, you don't know that Nolan's mom and the family actually know Katie. And there's an article in Daily Mail where they gave quotes. Nolan's aunt is a deputy sheriff in Jackson County. She spoke out on behalf of the family, and the family said, "Fine, that we know Katie and that we've seen Katie at multiple family functions." Now, again, I don't know if they know, those guys, how close Katie and Nolan actually were. But the whole point is, right? When they gave Katie's name, I think they thought that was going to go to a dead end with the mom. Katie who, right? I don't think they knew that Katie had been hanging out with Nolan on the low. But two, once it got escalated Okay, and the mother called the Coast Guard. And in my live, I'll talk about the way she said the Coast Guard and the police kind of gave her the runaround. We still don't know what was said in Warren's 20-minute phone call, because how are you on the phone for 20 minutes and a search didn't go out? Oh, that's right, because you guys told them there's no need to worry. You think he's just drunk on somebody's couch, because that's so like Nolan to be drunk on somebody's couch. Right? But when the police came in, they're like, yo, we need real answers. They said it was an unidentified woman. And they actually gave the woman, when they said, well, are you sure? They're like, well, there's what? Maybe it was Leanne or Laney or something like that. Started with an L. And they're like, yeah, and they gave information. So the MDR went and knocked on her door, and they were like, yo, you stayed on the island with Nolan. Is he here? We're looking for you, looking for him. And the girl was like, no, what are you talking about? I know who Nolan is, but I have not talked to him or seen him in over a year. Let's not forget they all graduated about the year before. And she said, I never even went to Home Island. I was on a different island, Petite. This is a small group, a small crew. Not only did you say that you don't know who Katie was, right? But you say you don't know who Katie is, but you are actively leading the police astray. And you had a name, but you said unidentified female. But more importantly, right? One could argue that you were trying to buy time. You were wasting time. One could argue that at the very least it was cold, callous, and flippant, and you did not take this seriously. And taking it seriously, if Nolan did die of natural causes, that could have been the difference between life and death. We don't know because we don't have the autopsy because they're taking everything away. But I do find it odd. I do find it funny. I do find it hypocritical, but I do find it telling that these boys are now sitting here telling us they knew who Katie was, telling us they were texting with Katie. So you didn't know who this girl was, but you could get the phone back and you're texting her saying, yo, where's Nolan? And she's like, what? He left with you. What are you talking about? And all the stuff that's not accurate. We don't know her. You don't know somebody you're texting with. You don't know somebody that you're asking questions. You don't know who this person is, but yet they feel empowered to be out in social media, dragging Nolan's mother and framing Nolan's mother as a liar because Nolan's mom said, I don't really know Tristan. I don't really know half those boys. I know Wyatt, but I don't know this. And we know Jax, but we don't know this. And we don't know that. How is it that Nolan's mom has been nailed to a cross for the last month and dragged through the mud on Officer Tatum interviews, TMZ stuff? And, oh, my, that's so dishonest. But yet you're sitting here telling us that you don't know Katie and you don't know her, and that's a misclassification, and you were texting with her, but you don't know her. Bart was the one that said, I don't know Katie, right? Bart is 21. Katie is 18. Bart goes to school. Maybe that's true. But Warren, you were texting with her. Jax, you guys were texting with her. Anyway, you guys, listen, I'm going to go live with more information. I did think this was good. Yes. One, to watch Nancy humiliate these people and make them look like yokels, right? And two, to expose in a calm, clear manner the way that the story falls apart. And they cannot clearly put together a timeline. And the more we ask questions, the more when we get an answer, it doesn't make sense.
Man, she cooking, man. Matter of fact, give her some applause too. But Dot Chips, this is how we do it over here on the Keep It P podcast. I appreciate you supporting the live. She cooked, man. And this is all I'm saying, man. Like, there's too many of us out here that are really darn smart and can put two and two together like really easily. I don't think any of these interviews, I mean, besides the point of how it makes them look, I don't think any of these interviews did them any justice. Not at all. Because I can play them lying. I can definitely play them lying about the Katie part. But like OG say, this didn't do them no good. Go ahead, OG.
That this interview with Brandon Tatum was a nightmare. It was a bad mistake on their part, but we're glad that they were talking.
Yes.
a camera that's not a phone.
Yeah.
Now, how did that get to you guys, and how did that ended up getting to the internet?
So whenever we first realized that Nolan didn't, I'm not gonna say he didn't. When we first realized we don't know where Nolan's at, the first thing we were trying to figure out, or his mom was, what was he wearing? And so we were trying to remember what color his shorts were. We couldn't quite figure that out.
I said black.
Yeah, I think we said
'Cause
black.
I really did. He was wearing navy blue shorts.
Yeah, it was like dark blue shorts.
Dark. I just said black because I was trying to piece everything together and help out.
And so at this point, we're freaking out. We don't know where our friend's at. And the girl that took the picture, she was like, okay, well, I just took this picture of today. This is what color swim trunks he was wearing. And his mom asked for that to post on Facebook to say, if you've seen him, whatever, this is what he was wearing. And so that's what we sent to her, or that's what she sent to her, because we were just trying to help. You know, we weren't trying to cover up anything. We wanted to know where our friend was just as bad as everybody else does. I mean, that was our boy. We want to know worse than everybody else does. And so that's how that picture came about.
In fact, if they want to do another interview, do another interview.
Really, though?
You could be
realistically, you could.
You could if you want to sit. If you're motivated enough to do it, yeah. Like I made a phone call to my mom, and I had to call her like 8 times before she picked up because either her service was bad, she was on the back side of the aisle on the south side, or my service was bad, and it was just hard to get through. But like if I went and posted a video on Snapchat, like honestly, I don't think it would like either post or send to somebody. I think, I sent my buddy where we were at, a buddy of mine. I was like, hey, come meet us. And I sent him a video, and he was like, dude, I couldn't get a hold of you all day.
There was a lot of things revealed in that interview. In fact, there was a point where they were laughing during the interview.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't when they were saying, they were recanting how good of a friend Nolan was. I honestly believed them when they said that he was a really good friend. I honestly believed them. That's one thing where they were actually telling the truth in my opinion, in that interview, when they were saying Nolan was the life of the, he was always the one to break up fights. I believe that, but Nolan was too good for them. And the only mistake he made was hanging around the wrong people. And it literally cost him his life. That's what I really believe that. Not saying that it's his fault.
Nope.
Is that in life, we all have these challenges that we meet in life.
Mm-hmm.
We do.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, his friends just listening to them.
A camera that's not a phone.
Yeah.
Now, how did that get to you guys, and how did that ended up getting to the internet?
So whenever we first realized that Nolan didn't, I'm not gonna say he didn't. When we first realized we don't know where Nolan's at, the first thing we were trying to figure out, or his mom was, what was he wearing? And so we were trying to remember what color his shorts were. We couldn't quite figure that out.
I said black.
Yeah, I think we said
'Cause
black.
I really did. He was wearing navy blue shorts.
Yeah, it was like dark blue shorts.
Dark. I just said black because I was trying to piece everything together and help out.
And so at this point, we're freaking out. We don't know where our friend's at. And the girl that took the picture, she was like, okay, well, I just took this picture of today. This is what color swim trunks he was wearing. And his mom asked for that to post on Facebook to say, if you've seen him, whatever, this is what he was wearing. And so that's what we sent to her, or that's what she sent to her, because we were just trying to help. You know, we weren't trying to cover up anything. We wanted to know where our friend was just as bad as everybody else does. I mean, that was our boy. We want to know worse than everybody else does.
Just listening to them is, I just shake my head on it.
Look at that.
And a lot of people don't get it. Like, you just have to keep listening to them.
And I just think that is so wild that they're pushing this thing that they're saying, oh, they want to end racism and all this stuff. Well, they're the one pushing it. They're pushing the racism. And
then you'll get it. They're going to say they were telling the truth and stuff like that. This was the ultimate form of gaslighting that I have ever seen. It's the ultimate form. Even from the host, it was at one point where they were calling her, Nolan's mother, Miss Christine. He was like, Christine. That's very disrespectful. And he just had someone on just recently, and the guy was trying to educate him on something. He didn't want to hear it. And then Nancy Grace had to tell him, where did you get your JD from, your Juris Doctorate from? Obviously, he's not an attorney. And she said that, what do you call it? Lie detector tests are permissible in court. And he was saying, no, that's not the case. She was like, if two parties agree on it, and then ultimately the judge has to approve, you can't admit that into court. Usually it rarely happens. But something like that, and she had to check him on that. She had to check him a few times because he thought he was ready for her the second time. But she had to check him, you know, and he will let somebody like Nancy check him. But if it's somebody that looked like us, he tried to gaslight.
We just saw the video. We just saw the interview on my last live, fam. You're not lying. This man is telling the truth. He's telling the truth because we just witnessed it.
Lie detector tests are permissible in court. And he was saying, no, that's not the case. She was like, if two parties agree on it, and then ultimately the judge has to approve, you can't admit that into court. Usually it rarely happens. But something like that, and she had to check him on that. She had to check him a few times because he thought he was ready for her the second time. But she had to check him, you know, and he will let somebody like Nancy check him. But if it's somebody that looked like us,
right,
he tried to gaslight and he tried to do all of this type of stuff. That's why I question people that actually listen to him. I really question them. But getting back to these young men, first of all, look at this picture. See this picture right here? I examined this picture very closely. Okay. I examined this picture for like at least a couple of minutes. And then I examined this picture. This was, they said, the Cito picture. I honestly think this picture was taken on a different day. That's my opinion on it until they show us the metadata. Now, I'm not talking about just show us the metadata. Show the FBI the metadata and let the FBI, matter of fact, let the FBI find the metadata. And I bet you, in my opinion, I'm just thinking that something was either photoshopped or something. You know, I don't honestly think that was the same day. That's my opinion on it. I don't think it's the same day. In fact, I almost think it can't be the same day, but I could be wrong. I could be wrong. And then it was this photo right here. So I zoomed in on this photo so you can see it. There's clearly something going on there. I don't know what it is, but it don't look right. And shout out to the Cajun Navy for sharing that. Shout out to them. Now, from a lot of the pictures that they shared that day, there was a lot of people on that island. And they seem to say that it was so many people on the island, you can't get away with anything. Yes, you can. Everybody's not paying attention to you. In between the boats, you can do something in between the boats where everybody can't see you. So yeah, you for sure can get away with something out there with a lot of people around. In fact, you ever heard this? You do something in plain sight, nobody see it. Anybody ever heard that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you certainly can get away with stuff in plain sight. You most certainly can. So, but they're trying to challenge your what do you call it? Your intelligence.
Exactly.
And that's the part that really gets me here. And it was no way that the parents made this about race. Even the lawyers didn't make this about race. Nobody did. They just want a thorough investigation on what happened to the young man. They just want a thorough investigation. That's all. But the problem is she was asking for a thorough investigation. Salute. They put the blame back on the parents for asking that. They didn't stay on the script. You know how people say, well, I just want to thank Jesus and I forgive anybody that did this. Then it all went away. She want a thorough investigation.
Exactly.
Okay. We want a thorough investigation. We want you to treat this how you would treat your kids. That's simply all they were saying. But they tried to flip it around. And this guy, Brandon, he came along. You can't tell me he wasn't sent. Mm-hmm. But the problem is they thought that this interview would make them look good. It did not make them look good. It made them look terrible.
At all.
It made them look absolutely terrible. And there's a lot of more in that interview I can point out to you.
I've been doing it
There's
all day.
There's a few other things they said, you know what I'm saying, that I could point out.
I've been doing it all day.
But it's too easy. It's too easy to continue to point this out all day. But it almost feel like somebody's trying to cover their tracks. I have to say it like that. Some people say, well, of course, Max, they were. I can't say it like that because I wasn't there and I don't know for a fact. I say I think that's the case. I have to think that. somebody left a comment saying that, no, well, it's really, I can't report like that. I can't. I'm not going to sit up here and slander somebody and I wasn't there. But if I have some knowledge that I know is true, yeah, I'm gonna say beyond reasonable doubt, this is what it is.
Right.
But I don't know who did this. But somebody did this to him.
Right.
Somebody did.
Right.
I just don't know who yet.
Yeah.
But it will be revealed, and there's a couple people of interest right now that I think probably more than likely did it, for sure. And they're trying their best to cover up for this person or persons.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how I see it, man. Drop a comment below. Let me know how you feel.
Shout out to the
and
brother
also,
Max Ball.
Give us a like, share, and all that good stuff.
I did that.
I'll see you in the next analysis.
Now listen, man. I say this. Sometimes it's not what you see, it's what you don't see. And all I'm saying is pretty funny that we ain't hearing from Wyatt, that we ain't hearing from Eric, that we ain't hearing from Bart. It's pretty funny. They've been quiet. They ain't on no world tour going around. I wonder why. Ain't heard Katie say nothing. She put out a couple joints on well, she could have put out a couple pictures talking about she was on another island and all that, and then we bust that down too. Hey, I had featured this one sister on the channel one time before. She had did a channeling of Nolan Wells and what happened, and she was kind of like spot on. She definitely finna be a prophet if it mess around and he got off the island and something happened at the crib or something like that. If that happens, she is a prophet. But she said she channeled Jax. So I wanted to see what she was talking about. She being short and sweet, but she be busting it down. So I want to hear what she had to say. Shout out to Tammy. Go follow Tammy.
Hey, my beautiful people. So I have some more information that has to do with Nolan Wells. I told you guys that I would be doing another channeling, and I have done that. This channeling victim is Jax Patelo, the so-called friend of Nolan Wells.
Okay.
Jax had Nolan Wells' phone and keys at his house. The channeling of Jax helped me tie together what I saw when I channeled their defamation lawyer, Edward Andrew Palsy. Also, he confirmed some things in my channeling of Warren Hudson. Jax is doing a good job for me with tying everything together. Jax's spirit was very open to show me everything that I wanted to know. My particular question when I went to Jax's spirit, I said, tell me, show me what y'all did to Nolan Wells. Before I tell you about Jax, let me tell you one part of Edward's channeling that I need to share with y'all.
Okay.
So when I channeled Edward, I saw Nolan crying.
Okay.
I didn't say nothing about it when I told y'all about it the other day because I didn't know where it fit in it. But when I channeled Jax, I understood.
Okay.
So the reason when I channeled Edward, I saw Nolan crying is because Jack showed me that they've told everything. The lawyers know that Warren killed Nolan and that they were all in on it. Okay. They know that. So in Edward's channeling, which is the defamation lawyer, he showed me with them being in a house. And he showed me that they were yelling in Nolan's face, and Nolan had tears in his eyes red, tears in his eyes. Also, I saw that they were hiding evidence in this house. The evidence was on a bed under the covers, and they left it there. So they did not get rid of evidence right away. So remember when I told you in my other videos, they were cleaning up the evidence, but the evidence at the house, they did not get rid of right away. Okay. This confirms when I channeled Javon, when I channeled Nolan, that things were like messy. So the house was not their main concern at first. That evidence in the house did not get cleaned up until the lawyers got involved. That's why Edward showed it to me, because they made them go back and get rid of some things that could be damaging for those boys. Okay. So keep that in mind. Now let's go to Jax. Jax showed me that when they were in the house, this is when they flipped on Nolan. Okay. It came very all of a sudden. Remember when I did my channeling award and I said, I know Nolan was still with him because the firecrackers, they were going to event. Jack showed me the same thing, the same scenario. They went somewhere, and that's going to be the place where Nolan died. So basically what I'm saying is this house they were in, they all went. Nolan was with them when they went there. This when things turned, like I told you guys all the way in the beginning. They started being mean to Nolan. They were just, it's ridiculous. They were in his face, saying obscene things to him, just flipped on him. Nolan was so hurt. Also, what Jack showed me, the mystery girl.
Hold on, y'all. I just got to bring this point up. Do y'all see them demons in the chat sizzling right now? Because this sister is channeling her spiritualist. So it's all good for Sylvia to do it. But when sister over here doing her little channeling, oh, that's an issue. Well, if y'all don't shut up and get up out of here and sit down and listen, you know we carry special abilities, dude. Y'all over there sizzling. She is just sprinkling. Hey, y'all just boy, they over there. Y'all over there. Hey, she might be saying the right stuff because y'all over there going nuts. Now let me bring her back so I don't cut her wisdom. Go ahead, sis.
It was so hurt. Also, what Jack showed me, the mystery girl. The mystery girl flipped on him as well. I saw her yelling at him. When I channeled Edward, the defamation lawyer, before he showed me Nolan crying in tears, he also showed me the mystery girl. She was in the room. Remember I told y'all Nolan realized something was wrong, but he was trying to play it cool. This is during this time as well. He was trying to play it cool, but it was too late. Jax showed me that they had Nolan confined, meaning that he could not escape. So Jax has confirmed that I told y'all that it was premeditated, right? I told y'all that they kept his phone and keys for a reason so he could never leave. When he got to the house, they made it so he could never leave. I told y'all that they beat him up. And this shows the arguing and in his face and hurting him and all that kind of stuff like that. Jax also showed me the final blow when they hit him, and it showed Nolan died instantly, like I told you. Now let's take it to the spiritual side. Remember I told y'all that this was a ritual. So let me tell you how the final blow was symbolized to me. And also how I know they were trying to get his soul. So there was an entity that had a long bony arm and all these bumps on it. It had Nolan by the arm. Nolan could not escape from the entity. So they had already conjured up this entity, this energy around his killing already. I saw it.
Is that kind of like you messing with the big homie Bart's girl and he's gonna get you? Or he gonna send the little homie to put you in the arm joint and choke you out in the water or something? I don't know. It's kind of crazy.
I saw the thing that had hold of him that was waiting to get his soul. It had hold of Nolan, waiting to get his soul after Nolan got hit when he died instantly. That is why when I first channeled Nolan, he was up in that room because it had him captive. Remember I told y'all that, but Nolan is free from that, so don't worry about that. All of them have been an open book, but Jax is the one that has put all the pieces together with everything that I've been channeling. The mystery girl. This explains why when I channeled Katie, it took me to Judge Ashley Cole. The mystery girl is not a girl, it's a woman. This is Judge Ashley Cole. She was there. She's the one yelling at Nolan. She's the one being mean to Nolan. So this is why when I saw Katie,
that make a lot of sense now. Why would she come out with that statement earlier on? How could she talk so confidently about when the boys left, what they did, and all of that? Come on now.
I saw her when I did that channeling. and Jack showed me the mystery girl again, and this is tied to Judge Ashley Cole. This also means she's cloaking herself. This lets me know that she's gotten some type of spiritual help, and they're doing some stuff, as we already know, and they're cloaking her. But that shit ain't working. That's why y'all going around trying to figure out who is this girl, who is this girl. It's the judge, Judge Ashley Cole. The first one I seen the first time. So y'all can stop looking for this girl. It's the Judge Ashley Cole. Y'all can stop looking for her. So put in the comment.
Man, y'all ain't gonna sit up here and what? Man. All I'm saying. And don't give me that crap. If y'all can sit up and watch Montel Williams and be biting your nails when the white lady Sylvia be saying, get out of here. And then like, okay, man, whatever. Shout out to the sister. She was cooking. Come on now. I ain't trying to hear you. You know what, sis? Oh, you know what? I forgot about y'all. You know how like when you get in trouble at school and your mom and dad tell you like you finna get in trouble and you're gonna get a whooping, and then you go all day and you don't get the whooping, and then right before you finna get into bed, you get your ass whooped. Y'all need y'all ass whooped. Y'all need a spanking. Yep, that's what you need. Let's do a little education, y'all. Since y'all over here in my space, all over here in our circumference, let's do a little deep dive into dichotomy of how y'all born and bred to be dweebs that talk so much trash in the chat. Let's do that.
Two Florida middle school students, 14-year-old Julian Davis and 13-year-old Charles Williams, were taken into custody after authorities were tipped off that they were planning an armed robbery. And that's not the most disturbing part. One of the most disturbing parts are the things that they found in these children's homes.
Now, this is where it get deep, y'all. Let me bring it back for y'all that was typing and you ain't really hear what she said. Listen.
Two Florida middle school students, 14-year-old Julian...
Middle school, 14.
Two Florida middle school students, 14-year-old Julian Davis and 13-year-old Charles Williams, were taken into custody after authorities were tipped off that they were planning an armed robbery. And that's not the most disturbing part. One of the most disturbing parts are the things that they found in these children's homes. They found homemade... They found materials promoting white supremacy, such as drawings, the Great Replacement Theory, these symbols, you name it.
Is this what y'all learning at the crib? Is this what y'all learning at the crib? Is this why y'all such a nuisance? Huh? Since the age of Dr. Seuss, y'all been on the noose. Is that what it is? Huh? This when you talk about thugs, when you talk about Chicago, is this what it is? Where the fathers at in the homes in your community is what I want to know. Huh? Is it the single motherhood? I don't know. But what I do know is we need somebody in y'all community to speak out. It's getting out of control. Where's Post Malone when you need him? Anybody seen Eminem? Huh? Anybody get a hold of Jack Harlow? Where is the leaders in the community to address this scourge on the community? What are y'all raising here? They 14 years old. They should be riding skateboards, doing white people stuff. Look, let me tell y'all, that's why we got the scourge in the chat that we got right now. Because these is the less fortunate YT people, y'all. Take a look at them. All they can do is chat. That's all they got. Because if they was real YT people in the chat, they'd be out doing YT stuff right now. Hot air ballooning, whitewater rafting, camping, dirt biking, skiing, taking the ski doos out on the boat. You know how they always, you see all the boat. Yeah, they be out on the boat right now. Pottery. Yup. Ghost hunting. Mm-hmm. Out there with the little the magnet thing, walking up and down the beach, rock climbing, hang gliding. There you go. In the Alps, doing the activities. You know what I'm saying? They're not doing that, y'all. They're not doing the YT people stuff. Working on cards, man. I got a 454 with the Hemming Elder Brock. Got Elder Brock pipes, man. It's naturally aspirated, bro. They're not doing bungee jumping, scuba diving. You see what I'm saying? Skydiving. They're not doing all of that. They over here in the chat. Straight dweebs. Practicing guitar, good one. Boogie boarding, I'll take it. Yeah. They ain't doing none of that. Look at all the white people stuff that y'all gonna be doing right now, but you ain't doing it. You ain't doing it. Why, my friend? Did it pass you by, my friend? Canoeing, yeah. Fishing all day, getting sunburned, I'll take it. Yeah. Crocheting. Yeah. Hiking, I'll take that. Scaling the building, going all the way up to the top of the building, climbing the outside of a building with no safety gear, jumping off the side of a bridge. Camping, good one. Yeah, I'll take it. Yeah. Chasing Bigfoot. You was quiet trying to fall asleep. What's up, G? I ain't seen you in a minute. What's going on? Don't be just watching in the background. I'm going to pull you out. Storming the Capitol, riding four wheels. I'll take it. Yeah. Drinking Starbucks coffee, eating a pastry. Hey, 4,000, Alex. Basket weaving. The point is, it's a lot of things that y'all could be doing right now, but what y'all doing? Y'all over here. Y'all showing how much. But listen, y'all, for all the new people here, let's not beat up on them so bad, okay? It is the yin and the yang, okay? As much as we fight for love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, as much as we fight for love, life, loyalty, knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, there will always be those that fight for evil and mayhem and destruction and chaos and devilism and demonism and Beelzebub and it's always going to be that. It's always going to be that. It's always going to be that. So, just Cub Scouts. Messing with people, I'll take that one too. Oh my God, sourdough bed baking. Yeah, see how we know how, you know what I'm saying? I ain't tell none of them to do that. You see that? That's that telepathy right there. As soon as I start talking about something, look what everybody start doing. Y'all see how we move? Y'all see that? We do it so unconsciously too, right? We do it unconsciously. And we feed off each other. We're miles, trillions of miles away from each other, and we're connected through a delay. And somehow we are able to mentally connect with each other, and we ain't even saying words. We just typing it out. We are amazing. I just want you guys to know. Because if we wasn't, do y'all think that they would be over here? They would not. If this was a lame spot, fam, what reason would they have? And guess what? The real tee the real tee it's not even me, it's y'all. It's not even me. Because I could just be talking all by myself. But it's y'all, it's the participation of y'all. Oh man. Oh man. Listen, y'all. I'm gonna tell y'all, I ain't been so locked in and laser focused, at least on the aspect of what I do. You know what I'm saying? Cause I got a shot, you know what I'm saying, at this goal, you know what I'm saying? And I'm telling you, I've been talking about, I've been noticing like this. I'm so laser focused on this chat and what y'all saying, what everybody's saying, who's saying it, when they saying it, around what time they saying it, right? Because I'm doing this every day, a lot. But I'm noticing so much about not only the people in the chat, why they in the chat, what their duty to the chat is. Thank you, Angie. Come on in, babe. Welcome. This is how we get in. Make sure you subscribe, hit that bell notification too now. That's the intricate part. Because you got to know when I go live now. But anyway, I've been noticing a lot, man. And I've been noticing worker shifts. I didn't notice people who subscribe because they actually really, really like what I'm talking about, but it be making them feel some type of way. So they you got to do that. I understand. I understand y'all side. I do. That's why, as long as y'all don't put no big long paragraphs and spam the comments with the same thing over and over, you ain't got to leave. Nope. I want you to get all of this and all the glory. You understand what I'm saying? Get all of this and all the glory. Not only me, but the lovely peoples. Give yourselves a hand. I mean, one of the littest chats in the land. You know what I'm talking about? But let's go back. Hold on. Let's rewind back because we was learning about these folks' villain origin story. This is the stuff that's going on at their crib.
Two Florida middle school students, 14-year-old Julian Davis and 13-year-old Charles Williams, were taken into custody after authorities were tipped off that they were planning an armed robbery. And that's not the most disturbing part. One of the most disturbing parts are the things that they found in these children's homes. They found homemade guns. They found materials promoting white supremacy, such as drawings, the Great Replacement Theory, symbols, you name it. It was there. And some people are quick to blame the media and the internet for things like this happening, but it's not that simple.
Nope.
There are conversations being had at dinner tables within families that we're not hearing about that clearly influence children to be so hateful. These boys didn't just wake up and get on the internet and suddenly get influenced. These are probably things that were being said around them. The conversations may not have been as extreme. They could have been subtle, but they still were likely racist conversations.
Yep.
And these are the results. You get extremist. They don't just happen because of the internet. I hate when people want to blame things on the internet. People are teaching their kids to be hateful. And again, this is the result.
Yes, I blame the parents too, Jamie. I blame the parents. And listen, I'm done. Hey, listen, y'all, have y'all noticed something about how I talk? I'm done saying some, but not all. I'm done giving that caveat. Y'all can do what y'all want to do, but I'm done doing that. And you want to know why? Because I'm done with the benefit of the doubts. Show me you're not a scumbag. Show me. And it's an ongoing process. It's always like, what have you done for me lately? Have you shown me that you're not a scumbag lately? Come on now. It's time out for the goof. We ain't doing the goof troop. I will have none of that. You understand where I'm coming from? All right, so listen, y'all. Guess what? Guess what we doing tonight? We doing some crime. Did somebody say that we needed a roll call? Do we need a roll call for the new people that just joined, that's just subscribing, so they know how we do it around here? Do we need a roll call? I feel a roll call coming out. Can I get a couple ones in the chat if we need to do a roll call? I just need a couple ones. Can I see some ones? Let me see what I see here. Can I see some ones? Because I think we need a roll call. Yes? Oh, shucky now. And somebody say yes. I sees a 1, 2 1s, 3 1s. It sounds like a roll call to me. So listen, y'all, if this your first time here, to get the evil spirits out the chat, I play the music. You say the city, state, country, Providence, neighborhood, I don't know where you're from, and we finna walk it out. Come on, y'all. Y'all know what time it is. Where y'all at? Come on. We got the Bay Area up in here. We got Australia up in here. We got Alabama in this joint. We got the Wales, UK. What is doozy? We got Vallejo. We got NYC. We got St. Louis. We got Richmond, California. We got New Jersey. You heard me? We got Maryland. We got Duval. We got Cali in here. Alabama. San Diego. Reservation, that is. Tulsa, Oklahoma. WSU. Ohio. D-Ware in the house. DC in the building. Sacramento, California. Northwest Washington, DC, living with love. You know what I'm talking about? Connecticut in this thing. North Carolina in this thing. I'm from SoCal, currently in Southeast Asia in this thing. We got Oklahoma. We got Minnesota. Shout out to the hometown. We got Marietta, Georgia. We got San Juan, Puerto Rico. Hey! Pennsylvania. Botswana. What? Hey! Come on. South Central, LA. We got Mississippi. We got Manhattan. Come on. Whoa. Come on, where y'all at? We got Dallas, Texas up in here. We got Wilmington, North Carolina up in here. Oh, we all over the US for show. Lithuania's in the building. Queensbridge. Hey. Philly. Hey. So if you still here, I know you like the channel now. I know I get a subscribe about you right now. It's over, look, what, 500 people up in here still left over across the all the channels. Shout out to Jay Lava's channel. Shout out to Keep It P Podcast. Shout out to Keep It P Podcast Raw. St. Louis, Missouri up in the building. Ocean Springs, Mississippi up in here still. You know what I'm talking about? Oh, we got the Puma Indian Reservation in Dago. Hey, justice for Nolan Wells. I see you. Yes, yes, yes. All that, all that. But guess what we doing tonight, y'all? Guess what we doing tonight? Guess what we doing tonight? Guess what we doing tonight? We doing some crime. We're doing some crime. Oh, we're doing some crime. We're doing some crime. Y'all want to want some crime with me? You want to want some crime with me? Do you want to want some crime with me? Don't make me get on my T-Pain, boy. See, I got some good crime set up for us tonight, man. I don't know if y'all know we do that, but we do crime sprees. Matter of fact, you know what? You know what I meant to do? Since it's just a select few, and I've been trying to try it out anyway. Who wanna come up and holler at me real quick? Y'all wanna come up and holler at me real quick? Oh, so look, if you want to talk, check it out. If you on the portrait version, right? Check this out. Let's play a game. Do you want to play a game? I am gonna put the link to come up in the chat. I'm finna put the link to come up in the chat. So if y'all want to come say something, because I said I was gonna do it. I can't keep saying that I'm gonna do it and don't do it, right? I'm gonna put the link in the chat, and I'm gonna put it on I'm putting it on the portrait version, not on the landscape. I'm gonna put it in the chat because that's the only way you're gonna be able to get to it is if you go to the landscape version, right? So I'm finna pin the link to the program in here. So the only rule is this: you got to show your face, and show your face. And I mean, I can talk shit with the best of them. So if you say some goofy shit, I'm gonna get you. But yeah, you just got to show your face. You got to show your face. I don't want no anonymous trolls. So I just pinned it up in the J Lava chat. I'm going to the Keep It P podcast chat right now, and I'm going to put the pin for the click in up in there. So yeah. All y'all talking that shit. Come say it with your chest. Say it with your chest. Come on, let's see it. Let's see what you dweebs and dorks look like. Let's see who bold now. Yeah, let's get it on out there. You know what I'm saying? 2 tears in the bucket. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't worried about giving you access to my program because I can change this code at any time. It's temporary, so you can use it right now. But yeah, the link is in the chat right now. Who want to tap in? Huh? Now, if you want to get to the link, you got to go over there. You got to go over there You got to go over there to the landscape version. Click on the channel. Look at the two streams. One of them got a bunch of views. One of them got less. It's usually the one with less. Click on the less. If you see the full screen, that's the landscape. If you look over in the chat, then you can pick it out. What's up? Who want to come holler? Even my peoples can holler. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got to be on BS to come holler. You can come give some praise or show your support. I'm cool with that as well. Praise and support is always cool. But if you wanna come test the rude boy, the roughest, toughest Jamaican face, you wanna come test me? Test me now? Huh? Don't make me get on my belly. But yeah, come on. Who wanna come on up and talk? Who got somebody got something to say? We can have up to 10 people up in here at one time. We can have a conversation. Listen, if they click in, the only way they getting on screen is if they show their face. If they show their face, then we can talk it out. I don't care who you is. Come on, let's rock. Rock it out. I'm ready for whatever. Whatever, could. On my mama. Now, either we can rock it out, cuz, or I could go back to my regular scheduled program, cuz, because it don't make no difference for me, cuz. With my true on, cuz. On my mama. And I'm not a crip. I just, who isn't infatuated with the gang life? But on my mama, cuz. What you talking about? Oh, everybody got real quiet all of a sudden. Dang. All the chats done? Oh, what happened is I called them out. What happened is I called them out. What happened is I'm ready for the smoke. That's what's up. That's what's up. I'm ready for the smoke. That's what's up. Come on, y'all doing all of this. Come on, let's get to it. The link's there in all the chats. There ain't no excuse. All you gotta do is hit the button. They don't want no smoke. They don't want no smoke. Come on. Come on, Cletus. Thank you, Nolan Wells, for bringing the light to Ocean Springs cleanup crew. Thank you. That's right. Shout out to Chris, man. Where's the smoke at? Where is the smoke? Y'all got all. You're racist. You're woo woo woo. You're a race baiter. You're Where you at? Yeah, where you at now? Come on. Yeah, I guess we're gonna go to crime. Look, we're gonna start watching crime, and then they're gonna come in the chat. Trump 2028. The libtards. Yeah, all of a sudden, look at how they all shut up all of a sudden. I don't see nobody. You would think that they just be flooding it just to troll. Oh, because you gotta hop on with your camera. Oh, because some of y'all look like the dweebs we be talking about. Man, you know what, man? Y'all, we probably talking to people from India and all that. Like, these people was not who they say they is, fam. They probably bots. Niggas from India, niggas from Nairobi, or they probably somewhere else, Serbia or something, Lithuania, Czechoslovakia. Psst. Them boys don't want no smoke. Them boys don't want no smoke. None. Matter of fact, I just seen the numbers go down. They just bowed right out. Okay. Maybe I'm gonna just start putting the thing up in the chat all the time. Let me just pin that right there. Mods, could y'all grab that? Could y'all grab that link, mods? Any of my mods up in here, grab that link and copy and paste that and save it in your notes so you can easy access, so you can pump that out in the chat when I say it's time to hop on. Even if I don't pin it, just make sure y'all got it so y'all can you know what I'm saying? So you can when they get to talking that crap, we're just gonna put the link out. Yeah, stop all that. Let us do our podcast in peace. Or we could put the link out, fam. It's real simple. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, so listen, this is what we do. We do the crime joint, right? I'm finna get up out of here. Let me tell you what time it is. It's 9:36. I might even just jump back in the box. I am pissing them off right now. I am, because I stopped their whole motion and their whole flow. When you get right at them, this is how it be in real life, y'all. Take notes. Look how I reached out and touched them on the internet. This how it be in real life. Zip lip. These is the dudes that be at your job. Hey, Jamal, can I ride with you to the store to get some blunts? Hey, have you heard that new J. Cole? It really bangs, man. These are the same two-faced busters that be all on your team at work, though. Cool rims, Jamal. Are those new J's, Jamal? Yeah, this is why these are the same people that be in my comment section on Facebook and every other platform that I'm on. These are the same people that you know, the ones that have the picture of flowers or a picture of a dog for their profile picture. These are them same dweebs that ain't gonna back none of that up. That's all they good for. I'm gonna show the blacks, the blacks, the blacks. Busters. Over there having conniptions. The blacks, the blacks. You know, shout out to my people in the chat, because y'all be getting at them. Hey, trust me, I be seeing all the dumb stuff that they say, but I don't respond. You got the super chat for me to respond. Y'all see I purposely say stuff y'all say when y'all come in chat, or somebody I ain't seen before, I'll repeat what they say or something like that. Purposely, I'm communicating with the family. They got a super chat for me to acknowledge that crap that they be saying. Only time I use them for the chat if they say something stupid that helps me segue into another video. That's the only thing they're useful for. That's why I don't let them go nowhere, because they always give me an alley-oop to a video with somebody stupid that just said. It's almost like a godsend. It's almost like they're kind of written into the program. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. But anyway, I ain't gonna hold you, but I'm gonna mold you, fold you, and scold you about being on code. And you know I got 4 words for you, right? For everybody that's new here and true here, you know what I'm saying? I need you to go ahead and subscribe for the vibes, like for the spike in the algorithm. There's a purpose for the like. The like makes the algorithm hit the video. And if you are really stomped down trudy duty, you will come back Spin the block on cuz, spin it around. What's up, Shay? I'm finna come back. I'm finna come back with the it's late night crime night. But spin back around and go ahead and hype that thing. You get 3 hypes on YouTube a week. I don't know if you know that. But go ahead and put the little hype on that thing. Nah? Show your boy some love, nah? Now, I'ma need you to go ahead and drop a comment on there. All right. Then now listen here. This the intricate part, boy. Put your thinking cap on now and listen, internalize what I'm trying to tell you. You got to share if you care about getting Black empowerment everywhere. That's what you got to do now. If you really want to help out now, you got to put the share on there. And I ain't talking about Sonny Bono, boy. I'm talking about putting it on a platform that you own so the other folks can see it, nah? Don't do me like that, nah? Y'all see me I'm over here slaving, putting the microphone to use for you, slaying devils, giving them the business, nah? You could give your boy, come on, look out for your boy. One time. Okay, all right. I gotta hurry up and leave so we can get to the crime. Love, peace, blessings, and aloha. I'm out the Doha for Shoha. You already know. Yiga.